here.
You went the extra mile. I appreciate it. Because I was sitting there eating I got one of those Taco Bell came out with their like classic menu on Halloween day. And so this is my first time going there since. So I got the old 60s tostada tonight. That thing was the bomb.
No, I mean, we had to. I mean, this is what we get for pushing to the extremes, trying to get so much in. But like, we had to go to the store and get like stuff for Emily's lunches and our lunches for the week. So Liz was like, "Well, you can go record the podcast and Mike, and I'll go do that." I'm like, "All right, sweet." Like that works for me.
That's what Pam does too when I do this stuff, so I can't complain. It's good. But I went and got my Taco Bell, and I got my 60s tostada, my 70s green burrito. Tomorrow I'll have to probably get my 80s Mexi Melt. I got to try it all. But man, it tasted just like that tostada tasted just like high school. I'm not kidding. From the 90s when I used to have baseball practice. I go destroy those things. Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday night. We are here. We're going to be taking your calls here in just a few minutes. Scott is back from Niagara Falls in Toronto. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
God, you guys are going to get a blast.
Hope you had the Lions on. Yeah, I got the Lions on right here. I definitely do. And I've been listening to them. Listen to Dan Miller, the legend, call the game.
My dad got to meet him.
Dude, Dan Miller's, I think I've told you about like his like play calls of the week videos they'll do on Mondays where like they show him like, and it's unbelievable because he does such a good job. But like it's the guys behind the scenes like pointing at like hash marks and yarders, and like giving them like numbers of who the players are, like so that he doesn't sound like an idiot when he's like calling all these plays. But like those guys are working just as hard as he is back there. I love it. I can't wait for this week's calls of the game because this has been a fun game to listen to.
So Jason, I'm also watching the
Oh, it's been fun.
Last week though, I probably
needed after that 10-0 start yesterday, and then Indiana just destroying us.
I know. I thought you guys were going to get him. I was like, oh my God, they're going to get him. Nah, 47 in a row.
Yeah, that was rough.
Eddie's got them.
Jason was there, though. Jason was there bright and early doing his like burrito tailgate.
Oh, man. A burrito tailgate. I didn't know about that. I need to be there.
Yeah, I know.
I met a listener of the show at the cheerleading championships at Mizzou.
Look at that.
I know. How about that? From Rockbridge. I'll have to shout her out today. All right.
I got a shout out too. I got a very nice message on Friday that made me like almost cry a little bit. It was nice.
Yes. That's, this podcast makes me cry for many reasons.
Right? I know.
Abby's over on Instagram. She just ran 1 million races this weekend. I have a story about the winner of the half marathon today. All right, let's do this. Let's see. Got that on.
Jason left at halftime. Hey, at least you had a good tailgate going.
Dude, who cares? Exactly. Many people do. No shame in that game.
Just like those Packer fans right now, baby, right?
Yeah, I'm sure a few of them left. I mean, their feet are pruned at this point, big time.
My feet were pruned today. I had to do a sock change before we started driving.
Dude, you look like that thing looked like you were going to get soaked. I've seen that thing on The Amazing Race.
Yeah, I've done it. I did it like twice as a teenager, so it's fun for Liz and Emily to do it. And maybe like 15-year-old me just was like crazier, but I don't ever remember getting that wet. Like felt like we were on like a water ride, like Grizzly River Peak at like Disneyland.
All right,
man, it was wild.
All right, here we go. 41, no, 44. Here we go. Oh wait, I forgot to do this. I knew I was forgetting something.
Is the house band queued up?
They are queued up. I just gave the director the point to be ready. I just gotta tell everybody we're getting ready to go here. All right, house band. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the BOGP open line for Sunday night, November 3rd, 2024. The show that feels like we're starting at 10. That's right. We're here. We're taking your calls for the next hour at 407-413-9395. That's 407-413-9395. I'm your host, Mike Rallman, one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel, with your favorite co-host of the show, your friend and mine. He was up in Canada. He went north this weekend and got a little wet. I'm trying to think. What's that line? It's well, it was from Maelstrom. Something over the falls. What's the first part of it? It's something boo over the falls.
I just remember like, you are not the first to pass this way.
We're not, but it's
But someone was finally the last,
over
though.
the falls. Yes, but anyway, didn't go over the falls, but you went close to the falls because I saw the picture this morning as you did the tour where you get soaked. Scotty G in the house. We're gonna be taking your calls though. So Scott, what's going on?
Hello, back from Ontario, fresh from Ontario. Mike is texting me on my drive home. He's like, "Hey, you still gonna be able to do the show?" I'm like, "Absolutely, I'm gonna be able to do the show." I left when I left, so I could be home in time to do the show. And I got in what was it like, Mike? 10 minutes before you sent me the link. Not even.
Plenty.
Yeah. So I'm fresh, man. I just went to the restroom, grabbed a drink, and boom, I set up the computer. So because I try not to miss Sunday nights, man, because these are fun shows. But yeah, I had a great time in Canada. Hung out in the falls, which I haven't done since I was like 15 years old. Went over to Vaughan, Ontario to check out Canada's Wonderland. A theme park that Emily has watched so many YouTube channels about, for like great coasters and all that. It was their last full operating day, like with the rides and all that. And they're still doing Halloween stuff. So that was a lot of fun. Did a ghost tour. It was just a lot of fun this weekend. Had a blast.
So you said you had a shout out. Who do you want to shout out today as we start the show? And we'll talk about the password for the calls here in just a second.
Absolutely. I mean, they're common friends of the show, but like they made me a little teary-eyed on Friday night. So we're at the pool hanging out, and I get this text of 3 sets of friends: Beth, Wade and Shelly, and Tim and Jody. And they're like, because of the Gardeners being friends with us, we all got to have dinner tonight. And it's just like, it made me feel so good. And Mike, so many stories like this, right? As you've been doing the show for years. And that's just what makes it what it's all about. That's what makes it worth it. When we have friends of the show, friends that we met from here that we consider family now, and those 3 groups were just basically saying, like, because they were friends with the Gardeners and you, Mike, too, that's how they got to have that meal together. And that just made me so happy. You know what I'm saying?
Best. Yeah. I mean, exactly. It's so cool because it's true friendship that'll be lifetime. It is. I mean, it's beyond podcasts and Disney. It's not Disney anymore. It's true friendships. And it's so cool to see.
Yep.
I love seeing it even when we can't make these weekends like we couldn't because of the cheer competition. But trust me, I had FOMO. But what can you do?
I did too. Like, I love wine and dine, but like I love the race photos in the morning. I just saw Jody and Tim were featured on the Run Disney page, for crying out loud, with their costumes.
When you
and
win.
then Jared and Stacy with and I can't even say all the names because I don't want to feel anyone left out. That's how many like great friendships we have. But so many of our friends were down there, and you all crushed it. It looked a little warm, but you guys did fantastic out there.
It isn't a Run Disney race weekend without some kind of extraordinary weather condition.
Right.
You got to have that. And Michelle in the chat says she met Vero Mike in the hot tub at Saratoga Springs.
Oh my God, look at that.
Everywhere. You got to watch out. People pop up in hot tubs. You never know. I mean,
I know we had another friend got a DNF, but like things happen, and it wasn't like because they weren't trained or anything. It was just like a weird freak thing happened where they like tripped, and like they still grinded for like 10 miles afterwards. So I mean, those are, I mean, that tells you how strong you are. And then you listen to your body to say, I got to take the DNF. And that's the smart thing to do when the conditions are like that and you're in pain. So smart decisions there. Just love seeing all the posts coming in from the Lizards page.
Absolutely. So if you don't know, if you want to be a part of it, just go over to Facebook and be our guest Lizards. Join the group. You don't have to be somebody who's an Olympic athlete. You just have to be somebody who wants to be a part of the awesome running community. You can just be somebody who walks every day, who wants to get some encouragement to get on to better healthy lifestyle.
Right.
That's all it is. So come on over, be a part of our community. You will be loved. You will be encouraged. It is awesome. We want you to be a part of it.
And this is always a crazy weekend too, because it's the New York City Marathon. It's always like the same because
I watched that a little bit this morning. I'm like, dude, you're just knocking off 5-minute miles like they're walking. It's not fair. Those people are superhuman.
I know. So I know our friend Run Mike in the Discord. He called in a little while ago for their Disneyland trip that they were preparing. Like his wife ran the full. I think Grace may have done it too. We have all sorts of lizards out in the Northeast that were running that one. So congratulations to that. I would love to do. If there was like another non-Disney full, I would do. It'd probably be like Chicago and New York City, I think, because those two just look so much fun to me.
Chicago was awesome, but they just kept talking about, and I didn't realize this because I was watching it this morning as I walked on the treadmill, and they were talking about how hilly New York that course was. I'm like, New York City's hilly, but then there was this mile. I don't know if it was like fake, like made up because it was sponsored by New Balance, called the Thundering Mile or something. And people, you came under this like looked like the Chicago Marathon. You run into the L tracks for a little bit, and it kind of looked like that. They were going over some bridge or something, and then you come around this corner, and it's like the Thundering Mile, and everybody's on both sides with cowbells. Dude, I'd have loved that part, but then it gets quiet after that, and I'd have been done because I'd have like sprinted that part. That would have killed me. It's like miles 13 or something. I'd have been toast. But anyway,
I love the hot tub like Blizzard meetup though, like at Saratoga Springs. I'm still like cracking up over that. That is amazing.
I met a listener at the Coronado Springs hot tub. I mean, so it happens. Hot tubs are hot places to meet. I mean, it's weird.
It's because I think about hot tubs, right? Like it's a great social area. I mean, it's so weird because like you're like half naked, right? Like you're in a bathing suit, but it's like one of the most social places because you just look around the person next to you and you just says, hey, how's it going? Where are you from? What makes you here? And then like you recognize a voice like you, Mike, always. Like everyone recognizes your voice. They're like, I might have a host of a podcast. I don't know, maybe.
Well, speaking of that happened to me, so we're Saturday, is the state cheerleading championships here in Missouri. Everybody convenes on Mizzou, and we qualified, so we go there and we second place again. So shout out to the Howell cheerleading. Didn't
Good
win.
job. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm proud of them. We tried to win, but something happened, and
the second place is great though.
Don't tell that to the girls; they're ticked. But what can you do? We got one more year. Mallory's a junior. But here's the deal. Like, so in the middle, you're there forever, because a million cheerleaders, they'll have to go. It takes forever, So finally I'm just like, and it was like 100 degrees in the Hearn Center where we had this competition. I was like, I got to go out to the car. Like I just had to walk out to the car for a few minutes because it's so hot in there. So I walk out into the lobby and I'm walking around the concourse because I couldn't remember where we parked, right? Because, it's where the basketball team used to play back in the day. It's the old arena because we have a new one at the campus now. And I'm walking around, and this nice lady says, "Are you Mike?" I'm like, "Oh no!" I'm like,
"You're thinking like, what did I do? Like, did I say something crazy?"
But she like, and I don't even know like all of our parents because we have a huge like cheerleading squad. We have like 30 girls, and like I don't know all the parents even on our team, but she wasn't in our colors. I was like, "Oh no!" She had on green and gold. Okay, so I was like, oh no. And then green and gold is Rock Bridge. Now, Rock Bridge is a school we just played in football the week before, and we lost to by 1 touchdown. They're one of the best teams in the state. And I was like, oh Lord, did I say something bad about this football team or something last week? Because I don't, but I was like, did I say something on the podcast about Rock Bridge, or did I post something on social media? Because sometimes, I get heat. Me with my fandom, dude. I get crazy. Vikings. You know what I'm saying? I'm passionate about my teams. I'm like, oh, did I offend somebody? Somebody's gonna come at me hot. A parent found me on social media. No, she's the greatest. She's a cheer mom or kid. Their squad, because I watched them because they performed well after us. We were one of the first ones. They went around 11:30. I went in and made sure to watch their team. They did awesome. They got a lot of awards. Couldn't have been nicer. We talked about Disney, we talked a lot of cheer, and we got selfies together. And I just wanted to shout her out because she says, she listens to the show, she takes walks and out in Columbia, Missouri. And just, when you have those chance encounters, just to meet somebody, especially like that, we're at the Hearn Center in Columbia, Missouri at the Missouri Cheerleading Championships. And somebody just comes up and goes, are you I knew I was going to find you at this thing because I knew you were going to be here because you'd talked about it. It was a joy for me. It was really humbling to be able to talk a little Disney there in the middle of 7,000 cheerleaders and all the crazy music that plays with all the cheer. So it was fun. I appreciate it.
That's super cool. Way to do it.
So password for tonight, so we can take your calls. Let's talk about. I got some ideas of a topic. Password is your best Halloween costume that came cruising through your house when you're trick or treating. So I talked about this on Mike in the Midwest. I don't know, Scott, real quick for you. We had almost, Pam and I, we say probably 80% to 90% of our costumes were Disney. It was wild.
Oh, wow.
We had tons. Whoa. Okay, let's get this call in here. But we had tons and tons of Disney costumes this year, and most of them were classic Disney princesses. Like not new, but like Jasmine. We had Cinderella.
That's what Emily and Sarah were. They were Anna and Elsa. Yeah,
like little girls though. So All right, we have I think maybe they're calling from Disney World. I don't know. It sounds like some background noise. Hey, who's joining us?
Hey, this is Abby, and I've got Trisha here right now, too.
Woo, woo. Congratulations. Got to give you guys a shout out because I have a story about the winner of the Wine and Dine Half Marathon this morning, which unfortunately wasn't one of you, but it could have been because you guys are so fast. But you guys won in fun. Let's just say that. And costuming.
We do our best.
So how was the experience? You had your mom down there. That was a win right off the bat.
Yes, and I took 5 days off for it, so that was definitely nice. Haven't had any days off for like stretch of days off for a minute, so that's real appreciated.
Amen to that. Highlights of the race weekend. Give us a few.
Probably for me, I dressed as Duffy, and he was on the course for the 5 and the 10K, and I knew I was dressing as Duffy for the half, so I was like, please be out there again for the half, and he was. So I got to meet Duffy dressed as Duffy, which as like a 2000s Disney kid, that was very fulfilling. Scott
approves of that. Scott is a huge Duffy fan.
I'm a huge Duffy fan. Yeah, I've met Duffy on a 10K course or a 5K course in Japan, and it just teases you like, oh, why can't Duffy just come back full time now? I just love Duffy. So that's awesome. You got to see him, and we're dressed as him.
I think with social media now, like the minute if they start telling a Duffy new emo, that would sell out so quickly.
Agreed. Right. You're right. So what else? What did your mom enjoy? I mean, I know what your mom enjoyed the most. Trust me, just being with you and having those the pictures and just having the making the memories. But what were some of the highlights for her?
I mean, really, that's been most of it. We just had a really good time with our costumes and did a little bit of a stretch for the Muppet movie, and we carried a puppet a Muppet the whole time. I mean, it was just for the 5K, but we've just had a really good time being together, and I'm sure gonna miss her when I leave tomorrow.
Oh, it gets hard every time. See, Scott's getting ready. Well, I mean, Emily's not gonna go. I mean, I think he hasn't decided. He hasn't decided. Emily hasn't decided where she's going yet. But I have a feeling she's not going to go too far. I don't think.
I agree. I agree with that. But it's tough though, right? Yeah, it's so hard.
Dude, I balled the whole way 2 hours down Highway 70. Man, that was a mess. So yeah, it's rough, and I'll do it again. Yeah, I know
it's tough, but as you always say, I mean, it's gotten easier as she's been gone because I see how happy she is down here, and it makes me happy for her, and I don't want her to come home for me.
That's a good point. Yeah, you got to let them spread their wings and live their dreams.
Absolutely. But it's just been a great weekend, and I mean, yes, today was a little warm, but we're still kind of used to that. Being that we're just off summer, so it wasn't too bad. But honestly, it was pretty chilly this weekend. As a Floridian of 2 months, I was like, I need a blanket. Yeah, she's been freezing. It's funny. I'm usually the one that's cold, and she'll keep saying it's cold, and I said, Abby, it's not that cold.
She's already claiming Floridian status. She's no longer a Hoosier. I mean, what's up? I mean,
I guess that's what's happened.
Abby, so. Indiana is 9-0 right now. If there was ever a time to be a Hoosier, it's now. Unbelievable. You're living in glorious times to be a Hoosier. Do not give up.
We're going to talk about the Hoosiers tonight, though.
I know. it's crazy to see Memorial Stadium filled. It just never happened when I was there.
I know. Oh, I mean, as a Mizzou fan, right? I'm like in that same kind of class of a school. Like, I need that. Like, if you're gonna give that up at the perfect time, you got to embrace it when you get a year like this. Do not go giving that up so quickly. Embrace it.
It's been great to see. So I'm happy for the team.
That's awesome. And I love that she's already cold. She's been there a month. That's so fun.
Yeah.
That's great.
But no, we're actually sitting here at Epcot at the after party, which is crazy. And we don't nap. So we've been going since 2:30. We don't think we probably won't even make it till it starts at 10 o'clock.
I love it. Well, hey, you guys, I've been enjoying following because I follow both of you on Instagram and all the social media. You guys are killing it. And there's that true love between you guys, and you're doing it right. And just keep it up and enjoy every second that you have left together on this trip. And I just appreciate you guys being a part of our community. It means a lot to me.
Well, we love it, and it's always nice to call in from down here.
Yes, I love hearing the background sounds.
Are you guys gonna go see Boys the Men tonight? Like that was one of the like biggest like awesomeness shows I've ever seen at Epcot. So I don't know. I'm sure it's gonna be crowded, but try to go see them if you can.
Yeah, we'll see what time they play. Like I said, we're barely hanging on here.
I can believe it. It's a long day for sure.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't make it.
It's a long day, and then I've signed up for all these events throughout the week. Like I'm going to the ABC taping on Saturday at like 6:30, and I've got like an 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Magic Kingdom tour on Tuesday night. So I'm like, I need to sleep at some point, and the after party's kind of slipping in where I'm probably going to choose to sleep.
That's
well,
fair.
Hang in there. You can do it. We'll have to get an update next week to see how this all shakes out.
I think I'm off next Sunday, so may try to call in again.
All right. Well, you take care and keep having fun. Thanks for calling in.
Will do. Thank
See
you
you
guys.
See ya.
Bye. Bye.
Love those live trip reports, those updates.
That's crazy. That's awesome. Oh, we didn't have, well, they didn't,
we didn't get the costume. Yeah.
That's okay, because they were in like 3 different costumes this weekend.
That's true.
So if you want other cool costumes, just
the Duffy. We'll take the Duffy as the costume.
Duffy.
Yeah.
So we had all the classic princesses were kind of, I mean, almost everybody was in a Disney costume that came by our house. No kidding. So what about you guys? What did you guys see?
I mean, we had a mix of Disney. I saw some SpongeBob. There's like this like Patrick. I'll tell you though, my house next door, they had like a bunch of like older, like younger 20s, I think. They were having like a costume party. And they just kept rolling up. Like two people show up, and then like a couple minutes later, more people show up, and they ended up taking like a group photo of like 30 people in their yard. Like I took the photo for them, so like that was crazy. So I got to see like this giant panda bear, and like all these like Pikachus and stuff. Like so that was kind of cool. But I saw a lot of werewolves and some like Mario people. I had like a good mix, I would say, of costumes. But I say Disney. I feel like Disney still wins because the brand is so big, but I feel like Disney still was the majority.
Yeah, I was shocked though, like how Disney our neighborhood was. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it. I mean, we did have one SpongeBob that was amazing because it was homemade. Because I told the story on Mike in the Midwest today that there's a family about 7 or 8 houses down the street from us with a little young boy and girl, their brother and sister. And like 3 weeks ago, Pam and I were walking the neighborhood and we saw they had like a dishwasher box or something, about a little bit bigger than the boy. And we saw him and his mom cutting holes out for arms and, a head hole. I mean, it looked like something straight out of the 50s, right? And like, I was like, dude, I bet that's going to be his Halloween costume. It was at the beginning of October. And they just like spray painted it yellow like 2 days later. I'm like, that thing's gonna be SpongeBob. But that's the last we saw of it. We only saw like just a box that they're cutting holes out of, and then a couple days later that was yellow. I was like, and then when he came cruising through, that thing was so awesome looking. And the fact that they made it together, homemade, like I love to see that. I mean, because I'm not creative at all. Like I could never make anything like that. So I appreciate
That's awesome. I love seeing the parents that are like part of the costume too. Like I had a lot of that.
Yep.
We're like, because I used to do that with Emily too. I mean, I still dressed up. I was a Jungle Cruise.
I
reused the costume.
Yeah, you were out there. I was going to, then I was like, forget it. I didn't.
That's funny. I only had 2 people really comment on mine. One was like, "Are you from like a Disney park or something?" Like, I feel like I'm just familiar. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a Jungle Cruise skipper." They're like, "Oh yeah, I know that." And then another guy was like, "Are you supposed to be like some jungle man or something?"
You're the guy from the 80s, the video game Jungle Hunt. The guy that sings on the vines.
Yeah, there you go.
You're Tarzan.
Oh, yeah, that was funny. But yeah, I love seeing the parents too, like getting involved with the costumes too. That's always fun. Like, so like there's a whole like Mario group, and like the dad and mom were out there. They're like Yoshi and like something else. It was fun to see.
We did have a guy walking around. I don't know if like he tied in with his kids. Now that I think about it, but he was like a walking stoplight. And like, dude, he lit up like red, yellow, and green. Like,
oh, that's awesome,
dude. It was like full on stoplight. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what his kids were because like we had a few kids. This is how it would have been, right? They just came up basically and robbed us. They were going so fast. Like they're like, 5 or 6. They're just like trick or treat. And they're just going because our houses are pretty close together, and like everybody sits on their driveways. Like we had a little fire pit. So you can literally just come like down the sidewalk, boom, hit us and just boom, go to the next one, boom, boom, boom. So I couldn't tell like who was with who because they were going with a few different families. So
I'd love that too. So we kind of sit outside too because like our dog kind of goes crazy if we keep the door shut and the doorbell keeps ringing and knocking. So We just put a couple chairs outside. We bring the fire pit out too. And then I always bring my Bluetooth speaker out. So
we had that too. Yeah.
So this year I played some Jungle Cruise background loop, like the original.
That is a solid loop. Yeah.
Because I had like the Jungle Cruise skipper. And then once it started getting like darker, I always switched to the not so scary. I love playing the Boo to You parade. I love playing the Boo to You parade.
Yeah.
And then I even when that cycled through, I went to Phantasmic this year. I thought that was kind of fun, like because you got that middle section, you know, with like the villains.
Yeah,
that I thought was pretty good. So I went to Phantasmic for a little bit too.
Look at you.
Because I feel like it's weird if there's no like background music playing. Because like I turned it off at one point, and I was like, "This is weird. It's quiet. We got to have some kind of background playing." So I gotta play the Boo to You parade always when you're handing out candy.
Yeah, if you're in a costume, you should have a soundtrack. That's probably the rule, like costume soundtrack. But if you don't have a costume on, I guess you can sit there and just free for all.
I think you could. You should try it next year. You should have like a little like loop playing. I think you'd like it.
Because I was gonna wear my flight suit because it was cold. Then I got caught because people were coming before it was dark, and like I didn't get it. Then I didn't want to be out there, you know. Then we had the fire going. I didn't want to leave the fire unattended, and because my flight suit was downstairs. So I was like, and I never got a chance to switch. I just threw on my hat to match my neighbor, which you saw Brad, who's the guy who always cuts the grass.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
my boy next door. So I was like, dude, he came over with his Bears hat on. I was like, bet I have the same hat. It says Mizzou. We're getting that picture together. And he told me how to put the ears up like the guy in A Christmas Vacation.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. That's funny.
He's like, dude, you gotta do your ears like Christmas Vacation. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. He's like, let me show you. So that's what he's doing in that one picture. It kind of looks weird.
That's funny.
Okay. Anyway,
Rhonda Lee in the chat though said like she's jealous that she didn't have any trick or treaters. First off, I was in Canada this weekend. I don't know if she caught that earlier. So hello, neighbor. And
you were
we had way more trick or treaters than I think we had most years. Like, I mean, we had a little better weather. Like it was windy, but it wasn't like super cold. And like off the gate, like we just like the first half hour, we were just loaded with so many trick or treaters. I told Elizabeth, like, you got to slow down. Like you're giving them too much. Like once like Emily rolled by, I was like, Emily, we got to take some of your candy. Or else. Yeah. Oh yeah. Man.
Same.
But you had the same. You had a pretty good turnout.
Yeah, they came early too, and but they don't trick or treat as late as I think we did when we were kids. Like we used to stay out at like 10.
Oh, 6 to 8 is the Michigan time
over here, like
or at least in my area, it's 6 to 8. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like over by 8, which is, I mean, now that I'm older, I'm glad. Like that's fine. But I swear we stayed out. I remember rolling in like towards the end of Monday Night Football one year, and I mean that's late.
Wow, that's late.
Yeah, it was pretty late. Anyway, so the password is best costumes you saw 407-413-9395. Also, I have a question relating to the Disney parks. And of course, we're not talking politics this week, but this week is the election. And I thought, what are the best dynamic duos at the Disney parks? And so, like, if you had a ticket, like, of course, a great ticket at Walt Disney World and an attraction would be like Statler and Waldorf. Perfect ticket. I don't know who would be like the president and vice president because I don't know who has. To me, they're equal billing because they play off each other. I kind of think of Scott and I kind of as like a Statler and Waldorf. Sometimes one of us can be, I don't know, have the comment and the other one comes in with the other, you know, the second part of it. I like it. I can be a curmudgeon sometimes. And you should hear it. Like when we're going around the parks, this is how we are. So Statler and Waldorf, great combo. But I was thinking about, speaking of your Halloween costume, two cast members, I think that kind of under the radar work well together is a Jungle Cruise skipper and the person who's standing on the dock. Like when they come in and they have that little brief, and that's a brief interaction, but they kind of go back and forth there as they bring the boat into the dock at the end of the ride. Yeah. I think that's kind of a cool little 1-2 kind of president, vice president interaction at the parks. Were you thinking of anything? I just threw this at you.
Oh, I have an instant one the second you said that.
Dude, that's what we got.
I mean, they may not be living anymore, but still it'd be great if they are. And that's my grandpa and granddaughter at the end of Living with the Land. That is the ultimate duo.
Yes.
Yes. With the cherries behind them or whatever it is behind them.
We always say that.
That would be my president and vice president right there, because they just unite everyone and everyone is happy when they ride Living with the Land and they have a smile on their face where they see them at the end. So I had to go with them as my president.
That's a good idea. Yeah, because I was trying to think though, like where like two kind of characters or two cast member roles like play together.
I was trying to be funny, but yeah, I could come up with like a cast member one for sure.
And you know what? that's kind of a meme at this point. Like there's all those people at the end of Living with the Land. People are always like, what's the deal with this person? But I swear you and I started that. And I'm not saying
we did.
We're like, what's the story with these people? Like, where are they now? Kind of like the old VH1 show.
We have receipts, man. You can go like 10 years back into this podcast. We're talking about
anybody did. We didn't put it on social media, but it was just you and I. Like one day we were riding the boats and we're like, man, these pictures have been here since the 80s. Like, I wonder where these people are today. Like, are they still alive? Like, we seriously had because we were stuck there or something. And we had that's kind of dumb stuff we talk about when we're at Walt Disney World. I said, it was specifically that grandpa and that kid. I was like,
that's the one that always jumps out to me.
Exactly. I'm like, I wonder if that grandpa's alive. And I wonder like if that kid's like the executive of Nintendo or something.
I hope so. I would love to know their story so bad. Did you find out they're just actors? Exactly. Like they're nothing like, I mean, they're like didn't even know each other, But I was gonna say, so a little behind the scenes with me and Mike. So yes, we love to vacation together, but there's sometimes we're just not together. But it is just like it's a unwritten rule because it happens. We don't have this like specifically documented that we have to do this, but anytime one of us rides Living with the Land, which is usually multiple times a trip, because it's like rides, we always send a photo of that to each other. Doesn't matter what time of day, it doesn't matter. Mike could be having it at lunch or I could be in the middle of a meeting. Like I know I'm gonna get that photo at some point when Mike's on a trip.
If they take that out, I'll be more disheartened than when they remove Rivers of America. Like seriously.
I love that one trip we were down there though. Emily like photoshopped us. Remember she like put us all in our own little one. Oh, I have to share that photo again. It's so good.
Okay, so speaking of that, so we have another, not getting to the calls here. I guess daylight savings time as people messed up, but 407-413-9395. We can talk forever. So,
oh yeah.
I mean, this is just how it's going to be, but jump in. I mean, be the third host here, 407-413-9395. So speaking of that, we've gone from Halloween to Christmas overnight. Now, I don't know, because you've been really busy this weekend. You've been out and about and, Niagara Falls in it and Toronto in it and everything. But it feels like this year, Disney like flipped the switch and like got things done quickly. Like the Magic Kingdom, the tree's up, the lights are on, and the garlands hung, and even the tree, or not the tree, but the gingerbread house at the Grand Floridian. I think it's done. Like
that seems really early right there. Yeah.
Usually, doesn't it usually take like a week or two to finish that thing?
I think a little bit.
Like in 3 days. Yeah,
that's nuts. The Magic Kingdom doesn't surprise me so much because they got to get like.
Yeah, that's usually
done. The party ready, because the parties are coming soon. But I saw a picture though of like a Christmas, but they still had the Halloween bunting like on Main Street. It was really funny. Like you had both seasons showing that kind of cracked me up. But yeah, like it is, and they even like were like doing it on social media, weren't they? Like kind of like making fun of themselves almost a little bit. Like, oh yeah, we're just jumping right into it now.
Yep. I mean, but I have to admit that's kind of how the culture's going at this point. I mean,
yeah.
Today, Pam and Mallory went to TJ Maxx, I think, because Mallory saw something on social media where they have all kinds of Christmas stuff, and she's got her tree up in her bedroom already, and she went and got some Christmas stuff.
See, that's kind of a bummer to me because, like, I mean, I love Christmas. I mean, it's like my favorite holiday, but I love Thanksgiving too. And my wife is just huge Thanksgiving because she was born on Thanksgiving Day. My dad was close to it. You were super close to it. Like, I feel bad that Thanksgiving just gets forgotten, but we don't have like Thanksgiving music or things like that, like I don't, and you don't see as much Thanksgiving decorations. We decorate our house Thanksgiving, but yeah, it's just like it gets forgotten and it bothers me. I love Thanksgiving so much.
No, it doesn't Thanksgiving does not get forgotten here because our tree does not go up until after the day after Thanksgiving. Our tree, like my wife's already like rolled her eyes at Mallory. Like she can do what she wants in her room. Like you're not fighting with a 16-year-old girl in her bedroom, like whatever. But she got like a throw and a couple decorations for a room. But for one thing, we host Thanksgiving at our house and we don't have a very big house. So like there's no room for the Christmas tree and everybody to come over and eat Thanksgiving dinner. So it's logistics is why we can't put up a tree before then. Now, the one behind me here in the office, I've been telling Mallory I'm going to pay her to decorate that because she's very good at that. And I'm terrible at that. So, but I think I'm going to wait till Thanksgiving. Even though it's a Disney, it's a Disney podcast. I think I have the license to put it up now if I wanted to, but
for sure. And I struggle with too. I see our friend Beth. This does not surprise me that she's had it up since mid-October, her tree. But I mean, I go back and forth on it too because it brings happiness to me, especially like here in Michigan. Like well, the daylight saving ending, you
Yeah,
know,
for
like it's
real.
dark. It's dark at 5:30, and like
It could be
it
dark
brings
for 18 hours a day. Yeah,
I know it brings a lot of extra cheer to our house. Like it feels so warm and cozy when our house is decorated for Christmas. So like, would I be mad if I get a couple extra weeks of that? Like, not
I
really.
know,
And this,
I know.
but I'm with you though. Like, our rule is typically the day after Thanksgiving. This year is going to be different because we're gone for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So we are going to do it earlier so that when we come home, like it's already decorated, you know?
That's what I was
So,
wondering about you guys, because you guys have that trip around Thanksgiving
yep.
and that's what I was, because I was wondering about that the other day. I was like, if it was me, and I was going to ask you this, but I wasn't going to say this, but now you said that, I would do the same thing. I would have it up and like, so when I get home from my vacation, like I can just flip a switch and
Yeah.
like have the tree done. And like, because it's like, I don't, again, this gets back to the topic of travel for our Disney fans, right? That are hopefully hanging with us on this show here on Thursdays. You listen to the replay or here, because we have tons of people tuned in live. Just nobody's calling. I guess everybody's busy. Again, 407-413-9395. You skip the password if you want to. I don't know if the password's scaring you. Just
Password scaring people.
I don't know. We're having fun though. But here's the thing: like, before you go on a trip, like my wife, I mean, she cleans the house like it's going on the market. You know what I'm saying? Like the laundry's got.
You want to come back? You want to come back nice?
And I appreciate that, because when you come back home, it does feel great to have like fresh, clean sheets and everything's perfect.
And the last thing you want to do is put up a tree and all that, you know,
Oh my God,
like you want it to be decorated. And the other thing is too, because Thanksgiving is on Liz's birthday this year, which is the latest Thanksgiving can start. So you're that much closer to like Christmas already. So if we came back like December 3rd, we're like, well, Christmas is 3 weeks away. So then you'd only have like a shorter amount of time frame. So that's why we have to go early too this year, because I'm targeting like maybe like not next weekend, but the weekend after, like November, like 15th or 16th or something for doing our tree this year. And good luck to you, Mike. I know Pam's going to want to do it, you know, but good luck to you. Stay strong if you want to wait till after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we do it on Black Friday. That's kind of our tradition,
Yeah.
Black Friday. So that's kind of how we roll. And this year,
it's fun. It's fun to do. Yeah, right. Like
Mizzou always plays on Black Friday, but this year we got moved to Saturday because of the network changing. We're not on CBS anymore.
Oh, that's interesting.
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, we got a next call.
We got a caller. Okay.
Joining us. Who do we got?
Hi, my name is Tish. I'm from Springfield, Illinois.
Hey, you're up in the land of Lincoln. Love Springfield.
Yes,
very
much so. Yeah.
Thanks for calling in. I'm sorry it's saving us too. By the way,
yeah.
Hey, what password did you guys have? Trick or treaters, and if so, what was the best costume that came cruising through?
Yeah, so we had a lot of trick or treaters actually, but I have 4 younger kids, so we took them out trick or treating, and the best costume I saw was like a Parks level Tiana.
Oh,
I would say
nice.
She was, probably like 12 or 13, had to be like makeup done, hair done, full like ball gown situation. She had the crown, like the whole get up. My 2 younger ones were like, we want to take a picture. So
that's
she was
awesome.
great. I even told her, I was like, you could like go work at Walt Disney World. She looked stunning. She was great. And it was kind of cold, and she like had on a strapless dress. So I was like, that's impressive.
And that's cool. You know what? We're just aside real quick, because I know we don't have forever on this, but I love when the teens go out like that and they embrace it, because you know what? Teens could be doing nefarious things, and instead they're out trick-or-treating and enjoying being a kid and doing something that is good. You know what I'm saying? Like, give them double the candy. God bless them. You know what I'm saying?
Even if they don't have a costume, like I don't care, because they could be doing something way worse than going out trick or treating. You know?
Yes.
Truly, I know. I'm like, as long as you ring the doorbell, I'm going to give you candy.
Yeah.
And you're polite, right? You say trick or treat. You say thank you. You say happy Halloween. You're showing good manners. Like like have some candy.
So what do you got?
What's on your mind today, Tish?
So I wanted to call. I booked a very last minute Christmas trip for my family in December, and we're going to do the holiday party one day, and then we have one other kind of full day that I want to do Christmas stuff, but I don't necessarily want to take everybody into the park. So I wanted to get you guys' opinion on if you had like to pick one Disney holiday thing to do at a resort or the Springs. What would you pick?
Let me pass this one off to Scotty G, because he is going to be down there in just a few weeks, and he has had to do extensive planning and he's thinking about these things himself right now.
Absolutely. So a couple came to my mind. So Mike said one already on the show, and that's the gingerbread house. It's super cool at the Grand Floridian Resort. So if you're not renting a car, you could always take a bus right to the Magic Kingdom, then hop on a monorail or a boat and get there too. So that's really cool
Mhm.
to see, and it's just so awesome. Like, and you can buy like the gingerbread. They're like selling treats in there and stuff. So
Oh, I
super
forget.
cool.
Yeah, you can buy like all the sweet treats.
Yeah, you can buy
Exactly. You can buy like the shingles. Like, you can buy like
Yeah,
shingles for the house, and like and they did this for Easter this year, and I think they've done it for Christmas in years past too. But they'll have like cast member like
Mhm.
contests. So some cast members might have their own gingerbread houses they made, or some other type of like
Oh,
Christmas thing that's
cool.
out there for like you to like look at. So like they did that for eggs, I think, over Easter. They
Mhm.
had like different eggs by like some of their like like their chefs or whatever. It was super cool to see. So highly recommend that. And like you can kind of go around the monorail and do stuff like that. But my number one, and Mike's probably thinking it too, is like you got to go to Wilderness Lodge. If you're that close, if you're at Grand Floridian, you're
Yeah.
that close to the Wilderness Lodge, definitely see the tree there, or even make your way over to Fort Wilderness,
That's
which is
my
where I'm going to be staying.
Yeah, that's my
For
one. Well, Fort Wilderness.
Yeah, I'm going to be staying there in early Christmas. I mean, in early Christmas, in early December, and just looking at like all the campsites, all the decorations that people put in there, like the guests just go all out, right, Mike? Wouldn't you
Yes.
Oh,
agree?
okay. I thought that was just a Halloween thing. So that's a good tip. We've only been over to like Fort Wilderness once, just to kind of explore. So yeah, maybe at Christmas that can be our other
Yeah,
stop, because my kids really liked it the first time we went.
they have now. I don't know if you want to spend just a little, and it's not super expensive. They have these horse-drawn carriages that you can rent. Just take a horse-drawn carriage ride around Fort Wilderness to see the decorations.
Oh, okay.
It is super cool because, like here down here in St. Louis, we have like county parks in St. Louis County, kind of across the bridge here from where I live now. And they turn one of the county parks into what's called Winter Wonderlands. They put up all the Christmas lights and stuff. And one night a year, they don't, or one night a week, they don't allow car traffic. They have horse-drawn carriages. And so you go through on the horse-drawn carriage to see all the Christmas lights. And that's kind of like the experience you get at Fort Wilderness. You get to get on this horse-drawn carriage and just go around the fort there and see all the RVs and campsites and everything decorated with all the inflatables and stuff. And it's such a different experience than
cool.
the hustle bustle of being in Epcot or the studios. It's very homey. It's very chill.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
your kids would love it. You'd love it. It's kind of a Midwestern kind of thing, I think.
I
It
love
does
it.
sound very Hallmark card-esque.
Totally.
I
And it's
love
not,
that, yeah.
it's very much bang for your buck kind of thing too, I think.
And our chat is on fire too. So I've seen like the Christmas tree trail, which I believe is at the at Disney Springs, right?
Yep. At least it
And
was.
then and Beth is even saying there's special character trees hidden in the house this year, the gingerbread house. So yeah, look at all those close details and like make a game of it with the kids, right? Like who can find these or whatever, like that's always fun for me to
Yeah.
get the kids involved
Yeah.
for things like that.
Yep.
So
Well, cool. Awesome. I really
the
appreciate
resorts
it.
are the best. Like as
Screenshots
I've gotten
too. Awesome.
Yeah.
As I've gotten older, like the resorts are like where like the vacation is for me. Like I love the parks too.
Same.
Don't get me wrong. I love going in there, but I can't like do all day in the parks. I learned that this weekend from
Yeah.
being in Ontario and Canada. I went all day like yesterday doing stuff, and like man, I can't do that anymore. But just going to the resorts and seeing all the different trees, like there's so many great ones. Like the Coronados is great. The Boardwalks is cool because that one's like outside, like in that little like grassy turf. I don't even know what you call that, but like, you know what I'm talking about, Mike? Like, I love that tree out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Coronado, I mean, the Contemporary is one of my favorites too, because that one is outside too, like the big bright bulbs on it. Like, I feel like that's one people don't think about a lot.
Yeah, they do have that epic kind of like vintage modern vibe one.
Yes. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So it's turning to be a tiring day, doing all the resort hopping, but it'd be fun to like take like a selfie or a photo of your family in front of all the trees and make a little collage of you all and with the different tree stops. I think that'd be an epic looking picture if you ask me.
You just combine it with like a lunch or a
that
dinner.
would be cool.
Yeah. In one of the places. Yeah. Walt Disney World is so fun during the holiday. I regret that's the only thing, like, because I'm a Run Disney racer, like, so I do the races. And so what I've noticed, and Scott knows this, like, is that my vacations have over the last decade focused on Run Disney weekends for the most part, like marathon weekend and, now Disneyland race weekend and, springtime surprise and all this. And the drawback of that is I haven't been at Walt Disney World for New Year's Eve for the past like 5, 6, 7 years because you can't really be there for both. And the thing is, like, the holidays at Walt Disney World are amazing. They're amazing, but you got to pick and choose, and it is hard. So you're going to have just a wonderful time. Cause like, as I'm saying, Fort Wilderness, we've done this so many times. It is amazing. And just like Scott said, Wilderness Lodge with the tree, it's like a Lincoln log set, it's like a Christmas card. You can't go wrong though. Just kind of wander and lose yourself on property. You'll find surprises at every corner.
Oh, well, cool. Well, thanks guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, hey, have a good time and don't be a stranger. It's so good to talk to you.
Yeah, thanks. Have a good night.
All right.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. It's great. Springfield,
Springfield,
Illinois.
Made me excited. I was going to ask them when their dates were. Like, if we're going to overlap. If you're there in very, very early, like the first 3 days of December, let me know. It'd be awesome to see you. I know we're going to have some friends down there for sure during that time.
You are going to have a good time.
Dude, that's the best time. Isn't that the best though, Mike? Like, that's kind of how I started the show, talking about the friendships we made. Like, I love seeing people down in Walt Disney World, man. It's just, and I thank you for that, for like having me on the podcast, like, because there's nothing that makes me happy embarrassing your daughter, right? When someone says, "Hey, Scotty G, like, how's it going?" Like, "Oh, where are you from?"
Like I got to do with Mallory at the cheerleading championship.
Exactly.
Around the corner, and I'm like, "Hey, Mallory, look, I'm the listener of the show." She was with her cheerleading friends, dude. She was like,
this person you don't know knows like half of your life story.
Exactly. She's like, "Please don't tell the rest of my cheerleading team that you do a podcast. You're a dork." That's how it is. Anyway, hey, we have our next caller. How are you doing? Thanks for calling in tonight. Who is this?
Hey guys, it's Brandon up in New Hampshire.
Hey,
Brandon.
What is going on now? You said you're in a winter wonderland up there. Is cold, snow? What do you got? It's not snowing.
We've already had snow a couple of times.
Holy
You
cow.
get up in the morning, it's the late or upper 20s, and midday you're lucky to get to the mid 50s.
Whew. God bless
Brandon,
America.
I was talking about you when we were handing out candy. I can't remember if her name was Mildred. Maybe I made that up, but I was talking about the fudge to my wife. She's like, "Oh my God, that
No,
sounds
you're
so
right.
amazing."
Mildred Nicole.
Awesome. I was right. Oh man,
That's
it's so
hilarious,
good.
Scotty.
Yeah. Because like I'm kind of weird about eating like stuff from people's kitchen that I don't know or whatever. Like potlucks are like not my thing at all. Like things like that. But I was like, but I would go to Mildred's and get some fudge for sure if she was around still. I absolutely would.
This elderly lady was known for that fudge. If you were lucky enough to get there within the first 50 kids in that town, you scored.
Mildred's
I love it. Yeah.
Mildred
I had Elizabeth cracking
Cheese.
up about that. That was so good.
Oh, so did you guys have any trick-or-treaters? Best costume?
Nah, where we live, Mike, we don't have trick-or-treaters. We live out in the middle of the woods. But I will tell you, I worked on Halloween, and I drove through my small town of Gilsum. I have to drive through it twice a day, to and from work. And the funniest thing happened. It's a town of 700 people. They have a huge holiday tradition on Halloween of all the kids trick-or-treat. Then they meet at the fire station. They follow the fire truck to the town hall, and they do their evening events up there. So when I came through the middle of the town, it was trick-or-treat time. And I assume it was a father. And this guy was dressed up as a full Darth Vader, light up light sword, and was slowing down traffic with a lightsaber to make sure people were slowing down through this little tiny town, which is like an eighth of a mile on the main drag. And he was waving it back and forth. He would go horizontal or perpendicular to the road to make you slow down, and told you when to pass by going parallel with the road. It was absolutely hilarious.
What if this becomes the new standard for traffic direction across the nation?
I thought I was in an airport, to be honest with you. I thought he was directing airplanes.
Or that. Next time you look outside your southwest window, Darth Vader's there.
You see Darth Vader there with his lightsaber.
Or Darth Maul.
What if there was a plot twist to this though? What if there was like an Obi-Wan Kenobi on the other side, like using using the Force, like you will disobey Darth Vader.
No, you will just continue.
I would have peed myself if I had seen something like that. I mean, it was fantastic to watch this happen through this little tiny town. Like I said, there's like 8 houses on this main drag, and this guy is standing there with a group of like 15 kids, and he's like, "Slow down, move along, nothing to see here."
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Oh, yeah. That's so good.
Oh, that's so funny. So what else is on your mind besides the Halloween stuff? Because we're full on Christmas.
I will tell you that our family has decided, or my wife and I should say, the first time we went to Disney as my wife and I was back in 2019, when my daughter, who is now 28, moved out to Las Vegas, and we decided instead of Christmas presents, let's go to Disney. I listened to your podcast with Ricky and Pam about the craziest kind of stories you guys have ever done going to Disney. The first time we went, we flew from New Hampshire at like 5 o'clock in the morning. We get to Florida at like 2 in the afternoon. We did the park day. Then we did the Christmas party that night. I will tell you, that was the most hellish day I've ever spent in Disney. You couldn't be more exhausted coming from New Hampshire at 5 a.m. and then ending up at Magic Kingdom at about midnight and then trying to start your next day afterwards. It was terrible.
That's one of those things you can't grind it out on a Disney vacation. To see Scott also, I wish he could have been on the show with us because he's done that 24-hour day too. Did you do it on the leap day?
I know I did on the day it was Memorial Day weekend when like Seven Dwarfs, when they like soft opened Seven Dwarfs, so that it was like 2015 or something. Yeah.
Like, as much as I would like to do that is just not for me. Like, I would maybe hop in, like sleep, and then maybe hop in at like 2 a.m. because like the 2 to 5 would be like the unusual time or something. But the people who grinded it out for 24 hours, I'm not built that way. I'm just like you, Brandon. Like, you just get to a point where exhaustion sets in and you're just like, I get a headache. I start to feel physically ill, if you go too hard.
I'm just too old for that, Mike, to be honest with you. Maybe 20 years ago when I was in my early 30s or something like that, I could do it. I just celebrated my 45th birthday back on October, but it's like, you know what? Nowadays, we enjoy the pool. We like the resorts. This is not the grind that we used to do. I can't do it, but I will tell you, we did change our opinion. We used to be the day after Thanksgiving to celebrate for Christmas. We have now become the day after Halloween to start decorating the house for Christmas. And like Scotty G, we have a trip planned for the day after Thanksgiving. My wife is puking Christmas all over the house. She's cleaned for the last 2 weeks. Everything is going up now. So when we come back after our trip, which I think ends on December 7th, we don't have to worry about that stuff.
But see, it's just so nice to come back. You guys get the presidential seal of exception because you're losing home days to enjoy your decorations because you're going to be at Walt Disney World on vacation. Now, but also contrary to that, you're getting to see some of the world's greatest decorations, complete with background loops and great snacks. They just came out with a foodie guide for the holidays at Walt Disney World that you can check out all over the place. I mean, you're going to be having the most holidays that anybody can have over those 7 days or however long you're going to be down at Walt Disney World. So do I feel sorry for either one of you guys? No, but you do have the right to decorate early because you want to enjoy your home decorations for the appropriate amount of time. I get it. Not that you need it from here.
I'll tell you, the best thing in the world is being in Walt Disney World during the Christmas time. The decorations, the trees, I miss what do they call it? The glow lights on Cinderella's castle. I mean, that was amazing. But like, we always, even if we're not staying at Coronado Springs, we go to Coronado Springs because that lobby, when you come in from that second story and you see that tree and the way the lobby's decorated, it will drive you nuts if you're staying there to hear that loop of Feliz Navidad every 3.5 minutes.
It's a mental test. It's to test your stability.
It's a test to say the least.
Feliz Navidad. Yes.
But I mean, the storytellers in Epcot, I mean, it's fantastic. The 50s through 70s decorations in Hollywood Studios, the classic Main Street with the wreaths and the tree. I mean, there's no better place in the world, in my opinion, to be in Disney World during the Christmas holiday season. I mean, it's just unreal.
Yeah, tomorrow, next week's password is going to be if you could be at one place in the Walt Disney World Resort during the holidays, like give us that visualization. Like, where's that one spot during with the holiday decorations up? So next week,
you guys put me on the spot, and it was Animal Kingdom Lodge when we walked in there for the first time. That smell and that visual, overwhelming to say the least.
All your senses, man. That smell when you walk in the lodge. Oh man, I had some friends that were at Boma today, and like I could just and they sent me like a picture. I could smell it. You know, I just know that smell of like the lodge and all that. Oh my god, it's so good.
The lodge is crazy because it has like not only the smell of like Boma, like when you're in that like lobby, but it also like it has that fire pit smell like a
Yeah,
little bit.
that's actually what I call the Boma smell. Is the
I mean,
fire
it's
pit,
also
actually.
Boma, but it's also like Victoria Falls is right there.
Yeah.
Like there's so many different, and you know, little, I don't know, Savannah, you know, coming in maybe from the outside. I don't know. It's a wild aroma there. But yeah, and you got the big window and just the hustle and bustle of people coming and going.
So
Wow.
good.
And
Yeah,
also the smell of the wood. I mean,
Wood, yeah.
I think you can literally smell the carvings of the wood. I mean, the guy was in the corner, of course, carving out his little figurines and stuff for the gift shop. But just walking through that door and that overwhelming smell of the wood, the fire, the smoke, the different scents that you can almost taste at the same time was just unreal.
Now you had me want to go to the lodge. Dang. You know what though? Here's the deal. I do get to stay one night at the lodge in December, so give it to me.
Oh,
Let's
geez.
go. Well, you get to go for like a week, so that's I
Yeah,
get
but you
one.
get to go on a new ship.
I do get to go in the new ship, but I get to go for 3 days, so it's okay. It's a good balance. I know I'm pumped, but the crazy thing about those things is they don't tell you anything until like I haven't heard a whisper about what's going to happen. So I'm just, that's not me. Like I want to know what's going on. Like they say, you want to go, and I'm like, yeah, I want to go. I answer within like 3 seconds, and then they like ghost you. Give me some deets.
Yeah, but Mike, you're a planner like I am. Wouldn't you like that surprise once in a while, though? I mean, I planned and planned and planned for our last December trip. I was so glad I didn't know that overwhelming experience in walking into Wilderness Lodge. Yeah, I've seen the pictures. I've heard people's testimonies. I've seen YouTube videos. It's the surprise when you actually get to see it for the first time.
It's the smell, right? You can see video of that Animal Kingdom Lodge lobby, but you're not smelling that wood when you watch it.
That is true. That is because you know, we've said this for years on the show, is like you only get, as a Disney fan, there's only so many times you get to have kind of a first experience with things. That's why, and Scott's like this too, like we try to stay spoiler free with new attractions because there's so few things that because I still have not watched Tiana's video.
Yep, either have I. I've been avoiding it. Yep.
You know, there's only so many new things I get to do, so I'm not going to watch one.
I get to try a new thing though on this trip.
The only thing I've ever seen is the TPM videos when it shut down one time. That's it.
Yeah.
But actual ride-throughs, no, I don't do that. I didn't do it for Tron. I didn't do it for Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't do it for Ratatouille. I want to experience it firsthand.
Same.
Hey, Brandon, you just dropped TPM, so here's a fun little fact. I have a video that he used on one of his episodes that I sent for a ride breakdown, which always cracks me up. And every now and then someone will discover it and they'll say, "Was this you that shared that?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was me."
Which one was it, Scotty?
It was Navi River Journey, because like if the main animatronic, I can't think of like her name at the very end, breaks down, they go into B mode, which is like a screen. But I got C mode where like the neck was like all cranked over and she was like tilt over and like just still singing, but like they never flipped it over to B mode for whatever reason. So it was kind of crazy to see the animatronic like broken, but still like singing the song at the end. It was wild. But so I sent that over to TM and that was the episode.
That's good.
What was that?
Geriatric mode.
Mode. G mode. Yeah, I like it. I was going to tell you guys though, really quick, because you're going to be.
Go ahead.
Because you're going to be there at the same time as me. I'm doing a new experience because Candlelight Processional dining packages just came out, and I was there because I've never done it. It's not. I don't think it's necessarily my scene. I was like, you know what, we should just do it one year, you know. And Josh Gad is going to be like the first narrator, which I love him. So I went in and I'm going to see Candlelight for the first time. So very excited for that. Should be awesome.
I'm super excited you're doing
awesome,
it.
Man. We absolutely love Candlelight. We've done it, I think, 3 out of the last 5 years. We've gone in December, and we've had some great narrators. We had the on-Broadway performer who did the voice of Mufasa. I couldn't tell you his name. We did have Neil Patrick Harris one year, and we had, it was one of the boy bands. I couldn't tell you his name either. Maybe Lance Bass or something.
Oh, like yeah. I mean, I know my boy bands. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Every one of them has been fantastic. Either way, I mean, it's just great. We've always done Rose and Crown. We do the dinner. We go
that's what I'm doing.
And one of the years that we signed up for it, we didn't actually, I think I mentioned this on the show before, we didn't want to do the candlelight. Pam wasn't feeling so great. So we gave the tickets to a cast member who found a local family or a local couple and gave the tickets away to them because we
wasn't that the beer garden story, I think, right? Or
Yeah, it was at the
wasn't that beer garden? Because like you like paid for it, but you didn't want to go because you're like your wife was sick or something, and they still gave you the tickets. So it was a pretty awesome gesture.
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what it was. Pam wasn't feeling well. We went in there. I said, I'm going to pay for the experience. You know, we're not looking for anything for free. And the guy's like, so you just don't want to, you're not going to watch the show? I said, no, we just want to pay for it. We'll take the tickets and give it to somebody else. And the guy just says, Merry Christmas, handed us the 2 tickets, and we gave it away to a cast member who handed them to somebody else.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
But yeah, super excited. Like, and it's funny. I think part of the reason I haven't done it, is because like I like to hold on to that thing that you haven't done, right? You know what I mean? Like sometimes you just want something that you haven't done before. And sadly, there was one that I hadn't done that just closed. It was the Cars, like the Cars experience or whatever, like back on Sunset.
Yep.
That was like one of my things I was holding on to, and then they closed it. I'm like, dang it.
Yeah, I even did that one day because I was just bored. I was down there one time by myself, and I'm like, okay.
Right.
I wanted to do it. I was just in the area. I was like, why not? It was cool. It was okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes it might be like a dining experience or something. I just like to have some things in my back pocket. We're like, hey, you know what? We should try something we haven't done before. And Walt Disney World is, I mean, you'd be surprised how many things you may not have been able to do yet.
That's true. That's a good point.
Have you guys ever done the behind the scenes tour at the land?
Oh, I have not. See, I've done almost every tour, and that's the one I have not. The cheapest one, and I'm Mr. Cheapo, and I have not done that one. It's crazy. I've done
fun.
Keys
Mike,
twice. I've done the tour.
It's well worth it.
I know.
mean, it's a fun 1 hour tour. You get the little earpiece in, and she talks to you, and you go through the place. You get to try some cucumbers, without having to jump out of the boat.
Heck yeah!
But it's just a fantastic experience just to be able to get that walk through, and you go to the fish, little fish farm kind of thing there, and feed the fish and do stuff like that. But it's just, if you're any person that's interested in farming or agriculture or anything like that, for the $35 to $40 that it costs, and we actually bought the plant at the end of it. It comes in a little jar, which is good for up to a year. We now have a plant from the land pavilion in our backyard, just as a kind of like souvenir of the whole deal.
It's cool.
We came close actually a couple of years ago. Scott and I were trying to get in it. We're down one of the race weekends. We went up there.
Yeah, you, me, and Liz just went up to the booth, and they're like, "Yeah, like our next one is for like 2 hours."
And we're like,
we had like a dinner plan or something.
Yeah.
We couldn't do it, but
we were like, we'd rather have dinner.
I want to do like the nighttime one. I tried so hard to get in one of those. Like they were just selling out instantly. Did you grab one of those by chance, Brandon?
For this year, no, we did not. We concentrated more on staying more at the lodge and, just kind of doing the BOMA, the GCO. We are booked for the nighttime safari though, again, this year. Fantastic experience. We did it last year. It's amazing.
Awesome.
I'd like to do that. See, that's
the
one
infrared goggles there. I
mean,
you don't see as many animals moving, but you get to see them kind of sleeping in their natural atmosphere and stuff like that. But we also get to watch them try to hoard the animals in if they don't want to go, which I found this fascinating. If the animals do not want to go to bed, they don't force them to. They let them stay out on the savannah, and they're allowed to do whatever they want all night long. They give them a few attempts. They try to lure them with food. Otherwise, they do not force them to do it.
That makes sense. Because, I mean, could you imagine having to force them like every night? That'd be logistical nightmare. And I mean, natural instincts, if they're comfortable, let them be. Just throw some food out there, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely worth doing it. Again, behind the scenes, guys, you got to try it at least once. Cheat
awesome.
Mike.
I know. I am, because I've done Marceline to the Magic Kingdom. I've done Undiscovered World Showcase. I've done, because Pam a lot of times gets me these for our anniversary present, these tours, because I love them. But yeah, I've just never done that one. I'm going to, though, because that's my favorite ride at Walt Disney World, favorite attraction, Living with Lions. So gonna do it. All right, we're up against it. We got to go, Brandon. But, thanks for saving us, and you always have the best stories. So you take care and stay warm up in New Hampshire.
Hey, guys.
Keep it up there for another couple months till Christmas. Oh, dude, awesome. He disappeared quick.
He was like, so long. So Aaron in the chat is going to do the Twilight Safari, and like those are overlapping dates with me and Brandon. So who knows? They might be on the same one. That'd be awesome.
So you're doing the same one? Wait.
No. I'm wondering if that'd be funny if Aaron and Brandon were doing the same one because like they were just talking about that. Yeah.
And we'll be again, small world. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. I was just thinking this. I'm about to wrap up. Like we always try to think of like group things we could do for like the lizards. You know, remember we did the mini golf thing, and now I will say it's easier to do things outside the resort because not everyone has theme park tickets, things like that.
Yep.
But like a behind the scenes tour, like if we could like snag like 20 of them for the same time slot, like on a date, that'd be kind of a riot. You know, you had like a group of like everybody you knew doing the tour. That'd be fun.
We should maybe do that in March when we go down for Give Kids a Whirl.
Oh,
for the
yeah.
fundraiser. Well, think about that.
There you go.
There's gonna be a lot of us down there.
We'll put our thinking caps on.
Yes, write that down somewhere. We'll think about that. All right. Well, we are going to duck out of here.
The time flew by. Like that was fun. That was a fun episode. We didn't get as many calls, but it was fun.
I'm scared I'm going to get a call from my dad. He's busy. The Rams just walked off the Seahawks on the overtime victory, so he will be calling momentarily. No, he's probably doing the post show, but he's probably a happy man because I just saw the pass. But yeah, great calls tonight and great conversation. We hope you enjoy these because the Sunday nights are not supposed to be exactly like the weekly shows. The weekly shows are supposed to be more like focused on strictly Disney. Listener questions on Wednesday, a panel discussion on Fridays. Mondays, of course, always about the trip report from the guests. We have a great one, by the way, this week. Listener Jen, Len's wife. Len's always in our chats. Sparty fan, Scotty.
Oh, yeah.
Talked about celebrating their 40th anniversary out at Disneyland. They have one of the duo studios at the Disneyland Villas. They did the tour where they got to go into Walt's apartment with storytellers, Blue Bayou. It's an awesome trip report. So you're in for a treat this week. But these shows on Sunday nights, my goal, and Scott, we've talked about this, is that it's kind of a casual just get together to wrap the weekend where we open up the phone lines. You jump in with us. We just hang out and we talk Disney, but we also kind of just talk about life. You know, it's casual.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about
I love the casual conversation, no pressure, right? So yeah, I hope everyone still downloads this and listens to the show. It's not like in a format where we're just going to answer like 10 listener questions or have like a topic. We try to throw a topic out there sometimes, but we get off the rails, and which is something me and Mike do. Like if you follow our texts or if you're ever in the theme parks with us, this is just like us talking. This is how we talk to each other and hang out, and it's fun to just do. Like I could keep going to like 10 o'clock, man. Like just chatting with you. It's like honestly, it's like our way for me and Mike to catch up almost sometimes when we do these, which is fun.
It 100% is, except for my wife and I walk 2 miles after the show, and it's it ain't gonna get any darker.
It's about to get dark and cold now, so good luck with that.
It'll get colder, but it ain't gonna
get like a his and hers treadmills. I'm like, let's go down to the basement and walk on the treadmill.
Yeah, we actually have a broken one and a good one. So
there you go.
Guess who would get the broken one? That'd be me.
Let's go to Planet Fitness and go for our nightly stroll.
That's not a bad idea, because pretty soon they'll be having the $10 a month deals when the year rolls around. We can do that at least for a couple of months.
There you go.
Again. Anyway, we are going to get out of here. We'll have the shows this week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Hope you will join us. Don't forget, we need you to please subscribe to the show, even if you tune in live, because our live numbers have really jumped. We appreciate everybody tuning in live on Facebook and YouTube and all the places for the videos. That's awesome. But if you don't mind to also subscribe wherever you get the shows, because we are a podcast and that is kind of how we're rated and people find the show. So please do subscribe to the show and also give us a rating and a review if you don't mind. 5 stars is great. If you could do that, we'd really appreciate that. Don't forget, our podcast brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure. Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney. No additional cost to you. First class concierge level service and onboard credits. Free money in your account when you get on the Disney Cruise Line ship or Disney gift cards when you go to the Disney destinations. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. And as you do that shopping online, please use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our Patreon supporters, patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. You can support us just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. This week's show called We Are the World. I hope you'll check that one out. Talked about the one time we did Hands Across America when I was a kid. Maybe we need a little bit of that this week. We'll just
I
check
was
that out. I hope you appreciate that.
I hope you just I hope you play every role of the "We Are the World," like USA for Africa song.
I don't play it because
and
of
you're Lionel
copyright.
Richie, you're Huey Lewis, you're Cyndi Lauper. I hope you play all the roles
No.
and reenact it.
I wish I could, but copyright infringement. But yeah, I mean, could a little Willie Nelson, something like that. But
Bob Dylan at the end.
Yes, I mean, dude, back in the day, that was it. But I remember my baseball. You gotta check out the show. But I mean, back in the day, man, my baseball team stood in this area that is such a bad neighborhood right now. If you go back there, you'd probably get shot. But like my whole baseball team, we all stood and held hands. And I thought, for the love of God, when I was like 8 years old, that we were literally holding hands across the entire country. And we weren't, but because there's an interstate highway like a mile away. So we were not crossing Interstate 70 now that I look back at it. But to an 8-year-old, we were holding hands across America, for the love of God. It was awesome.
There you go.
It was the sentiment of the whole thing. So anyway, check that out. Be our guest, or patreon.com/Be Our Guest podcast. We appreciate your support. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike on the social media on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. Scott, you can find him at Epscott, EPSCOT on the social media. But more importantly, go over to YouTube and check out Must See Adventures. Must See SEE Adventures. Scott, what's going on over there? Let everybody know.
We posted a sea day recently. We're still on that Royal Caribbean cruise. Like, editing takes a while.
5 years.
Yeah, no, because like I just recorded a bunch of content today, or like this weekend. I have stuff in Franklin. I have like a beach. I have all this content which is not a bad thing. I just gotta if I could just have a week off and like just do editing, like I can get caught up. But no, it was fun. We had a fun sea day. We reviewed Wonderland, so that was fun. But our next one, we will be doing a excursion that is featured in Impressions de France. So very excited to share that one with you. So, and you know how much I love Impressions de France. So to be able to experience something that you see in that film was very cool and special to me.
All right, so check it out. Just go over to YouTube, Must See Adventures. Hit the subscribe button so you will know when the next video drops, and you'll be the first to check it out. Yeah. All right, let's see. So I think that's about it. So we'll be back again next Sunday night, 7:00 Eastern, 6:00 Central. Hope you will be too. But until then, for Scott, I'm Mike, wishing you also come over to the Clubhouse, beourguestpodcast.com/Clubhouse. We have a great time over there. All right, till we get back together again. For Scott, I'm Mike, wishing you a great weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
I gotta do some catch up on the Clubhouse. That's what stinks sometimes when you're like having fun on the weekend. It's hard to like keep up with all that stuff, but
it's crazy. Why is the Simpsons that Clubhouse? They always do that Halloween show, but it's always
It's like what, year 35? Like, I mean, like it's out of control. Like how many years?
Halloween though.
Yeah, the tree house of horror or something.
Or whatever.
Right? Yeah.
Football game just ended, and I didn't change the channel. I'm like, but Halloween's over.
I know. I guess this is the closest weekend to it. I guess you could have done it last weekend, but
I guess I'd do it before anyway.
Maybe it's a repeat. Maybe they did it last week too. I don't know.
I have no idea. I hardly ever watch TV.
So what happened? The Rams won in OT.
They were in overtime, and they Stafford threw a bomb from like the 50 and hit the guy for a touchdown.
So what's with these crazy like walk-off victories when we're doing the podcast?
I know. Dude, it was Brandon again on the phone. I was just like,
yeah, I know. Yeah. So when Brandon calls, like, you better hope your football team isn't playing a close game. It could be good or bad.
When Brandon calls, you better hope your team is in possession of the ball.
Exactly. Or it could be some crazy turnover. You never know.
Turnover. You're not exactly
that play last week, though, because I finally saw it after we got done, was crazy. And then, like, the Bear player, like, taunting the crowd. And then, like, he ends up being the one that tips it.
Yeah, dude, he was taunting the guy while the play was going. They benched him. I'd have cut him. Dude, forget benching him. I'd have cut him.
And then he's tipped.
Then they said he had a bet going on with the people. Like later, he's like, he had a bet before the game. They have video. He bet those people that he was going to beat them. I'd have cut him.
As a Lions fan, that is just, I applaud it. That was so good.
What an idiot. What an idiot. Dude, he's sitting there taunting those people. And then he was the one that tipped the ball up in the air. Man, that is, I mean, if there's instant karma, that is instant karma. Every football coach should be showing that for eternity.
Right. Oh my God, it's so good.
All right, I
gotta wind down, man. I haven't even I haven't done anything since I've been home. So
You gotta go feed the dog, dude. Your
I
dog's
know.
like,
Actually, my dog is still with my dad. I don't know. Hopefully, he's cool watching him one more night because I do not feel like driving across
your
town.
dad's like, come get your dog.
I did buy him a sweatshirt though, so maybe like a little bribery. Brought him back a little souvenir,
That always works.
which
Yeah.
I did say at customs at the border patrol. Border patrol was like backed up like crazy today.
See, I don't even know what that's like. I've never gone through it.
Yeah, so like it was bad, and like they're like, "Did you bring anything?" I'm like, "A couple sweatshirts, you know."
No, they just in your car. Do you just go through your car?
So they were going through a lot of cars today. Like every car was like getting searched, but like we went up there and like it was like 30 seconds. We were in and out. Like answered a couple questions, we were good. So I don't know why people were having their car searched. Maybe they're from the Canadians. Maybe they were Canadians coming in. I don't know. I don't know what it was. And I think it's all random how they do it. But
Maybe it's because it's close to the election.
Liz and I were saying that too. We were parked for 20 minutes trying to cross today.
Huh.
But
yeah,
the trucks had an hour wait. They'll have like a little like timer, like a ETA. Like trucks were like an hour today. Like dang, it's
Dude,
brutal.
no. Yeah, I'm staying put for the next couple of days.
Yeah, I know. Liz was thinking like, are they going to let us back in?
Exactly. How do I leave the
Like
country?
we didn't think about with the election coming up. Like
I was gonna say, dude, you guys are kind of brave. No, that's
Yeah.
fine. But yeah, I was like, oh, dude, he's going to Canada just in case.
I'm not blaming innocent Canadians.
Exactly, no,
Canadians are the greatest.
that's
Like
what
I
I'm saying,
love.
dude. Yeah, I mean, exactly. There might be a lot more people.
Yeah. Oh my
Who
god,
knows?
we did this ghost story tour last night, like in Niagara on the lake, which is like right there on like Lake Ontario. Like and like this lady was like all like decked out in this outfit. She was the Black Widow was her name. Like it was like the coolest thing. Man, it was only like $15. That's the greatest thing when you go over to Canada as the US, like our dollar is so strong. Like, oh yeah, this stuff seems pretty affordable, actually.
Well, plus, if you were thinking about going down and surprising people at Disney, you saved a gajillion dollars compared to what
I did. That's why we went north, man. Like I love all my friends down there, but like I saved so much money, more money going to Canada. Like the airfare alone would have been like $3,000.
For real, I hear you, man. It's nuts.
Oh man. All right. I think Liz has some food, I hope, because we're hungry. We haven't eaten in a while. I did have some poutine for lunch though. So
Oh, dude, you're killing me. For real poutine too.
it was good. I'll send you a picture. It was so good.
All right. Well, tell everybody
All right.
today.
Yeah, us too. We'll talk later.
All right.
Bye,
I'll see you
everyone.
guys later. Bye.